football. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game is missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to get my little thoughts on Jaron Ennis and Roiman Villa because I've already had a couple comments saying, True School BT, how come you don't have a video about Boots? So here it is for you guys. Now, the result of the fight was a one-sided ass whooping. Boots wound up stopping Villa in the 10th round. He's the first fighter to do so. As far as the performance, I mean, it really was a perfect performance. You know, he didn't really put a foot wrong. I think it was about as close to a perfect performance as you could possibly get in boxing, right? And you know, like, I enjoyed the fight for what it was. Like, I thought Villa was a tough, strong, durable guy. In terms of physical strength, Villa probably the strongest guy Ennis fought, but his skills weren't up to par, and he just got hit way too much. So it was a great showcase fight against a very durable, very tough. I mean, you got to give Villa credit for the road he's taken to get here, beating undefeated guys like Janelson Figueroa, and then as well as beating Rashidi Ellis, right? So he's done his thing. He's done his thing to get to this point. He earned the shot against a guy like Jaron Ennis, but when push came to shove, his skills just weren't up to par. And, you know, style-wise, was a tailor-made fighter for Boots. You know, high guard fighter, pressure fighter, don't know no way but coming forward. And Boots was able to pick his shots, work behind the jab, switch stances, pivot, reverse pivot, uppercut. I mean, everything that was in the Boots arsenal, counter-punching, just everything was on display in this fight. And, yeah, it was the ideal fight for him coming off of the last performance where he didn't look so good against Karen Chukajan. You know, so did I learn anything about Jaron Ennis that I didn't already know in this fight? Not really. You know, he's the most skilled welterweight in the world. He's got every tool under the sun. We knew that already. But I still want to see him in there with like a guy like that can move, like Karen Chukajan. But like everyone's talking about him versus Stanionis, which would be a great fight. Stanionis is cool. I would accept it. I wouldn't, you know, get angry about a Stanionis fight. But if he's going to stay at 147, which I don't think is going to be very much longer because Boots is big. He could be at 54 or 60 if he wanted to right now. He could be a middleweight right now if he wanted to. But if he's going to stay at 47, to me, the fight that I think needs to happen by like the first quarter of next year, I think has to be him versus Keith one-time Thurman. Keith Thurman, to me, is the great fight for a number of reasons. Number one, if we look at his last fight against Karen Chukajan, where he didn't light the world on fire and he had a hard time finding Karen, you know, I think Thurman can do a lot of some similar things to Karen Chukajan, but the only difference is he's a better fighter. He's a more experienced fighter at the championship level. He's got a bigger name, so Boots beating him would be a great on his resume. And on top of that, if Boots does put a foot wrong or his defense isn't on par for any moment of the fight, Keith Thurman has a kind of punching power to where he could actually legitimately hurt Boots, you know. And I will say, one thing you got to give Boots credit for in this fight with Villa was Villa kept coming. He kept throwing punches and he kept fighting until he couldn't fight no more, all right? But one thing that was amazing about Boots was he'd be right there in the pocket, and every time it looked like Villa was going to land a right hand, he was able to just get the hand right there to answer the phone, as they say, and block the shot, take something off the shot. Even when Villa would land a lot of the times, Boots was just able to, you know, roll his head to the left or roll his head to the right and roll the shot, meaning that when the punch hits him, you know, he's taking a bit of a steam off of it. Villa is not getting the full impact of the punch because of, you know, Boots being able to roll the shot, you know. So just those little tricks of the trade, the slickness of Boots on the inside, I think was probably the best thing I saw last night from him. But yeah, to me, Keith Thurman is the way to go if he's going to stay at 47. Now, obviously, Thurman still has to fight. They're talking about him fighting Ugas. Hopefully it happens and he beats Ugas because I think that him versus Jaron Ennis is an amazing fight for the welterweight division. But truth be told, I mean, when you look at Crawford and Spence, they're going to be fighting later on this month, and who knows how long that's going to last. That could last 2 or 3 fights. I really think the move for Ennis is to move to 154. I feel like he's stagnating his career by staying at 47. I feel like there's a great fight to be made. With Jermell Charlo moving up to 168 to fight Canelo, the likelihood of Jermell Charlo coming back down to 154 to fight Tim Tszyu is, I think, highly unlikely. So my thing is, Tim Tszyu is a rising name in the sport. He's got a great fan base in Australia and a growing fan base in general. He's a Lima PBC. He's a fun action fighter. He's a damn good fighter. He needs a rival. He needs someone that's gonna rival him. And I feel like that's the fight. If I was Boots Ennis, if I was like his manager, if I had the privilege to be Cameron Duncan, and be his manager, I feel like, try to get a Thurman fight, but after that, go to 54 and try to go fight Tim Tszyu. I think that's the way to go. I think it'd be a great fight. I think it'd be a great fight for boxing. Two guys that like to go in there and exchange and are just elite high level fighters. But great performance. I think last night's one of them nights where when years from now, when Boots is no longer retired and he hangs up the gloves, you're gonna see a lot of highlights from that fight on the Boots career highlight package. He dished out a severe ass whooping to Villa. And as far as Villa goes, I mean, that was the kind of beating that when you take that kind of beating, you don't normally come back the same. And so I don't know if Villa's in a box anymore. And if he does, there's just no way on earth he's gonna be the same. Should be told. I mean, it wasn't like Boots was just hitting him in the head. No, he was hitting him in the body, the head, everywhere you could think of. Boots was hitting him. It was a diverse ass whooping. So everyone's kind of back on the Boots train now. I see a lot of people on Twitter saying like, "Oh, Boots beats Spence, Boots beats Thurman, Boots beats Crawford." I've always maintained, and I'm gonna stick with what I'm saying. I've always maintained that Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence is not number 1 versus number 2. It's number 1 versus number 3, with number 3 being Errol Spence, because Jaron Ennis is a better fighter everywhere on the board than Errol Spence. And if they fought, I would favor Jaron Ennis to beat the dog shit out of Errol Spence. So, that's why I can't get excited about Crawford Spence, because to me, Jaron Ennis is already one of the top 2 welterweights in the world. We're never going to get... The way I see it is, just because of how everything's played out and the whole chessboard and the landscape of 147, I don't think we'll ever get a chance to really see how good Jaron Ennis is at 147 against Crawford or Spence. So I feel like either he should fight Thurman next and try to get that name on his resume, or he should just forgo the welterweight division altogether and go to 154, 160. Maybe fight Tim Tszyu or Carlos Adames or Eric Shalubin or something like that. I think that'd be really exciting for the sport and his career and things like that. So yeah, that's my take on the fight. Let me know what you guys think about Jaron Ennis versus Roiman Villa and how it all played out. And what do you think Jaron Ennis should do with his career next? For me personally, I just don't see a big future at 147. And it's through no fault of his own. It's just how the landscape is. And he can't do anything about it other than just beat the guys he put in front of him. So and he's done a great job at that so far. So yeah, leave a comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.